welcome back to Crypto Harmonics, August 7th, this Monday, almost noon. And yeah, Bitcoin had a good weekend, right? This is awesome. This is what we want to see, the gold of cryptocurrencies going up in value, people seeing its value too. So it's really exciting. It also, everything else relative to Bitcoin, like all the altcoins, they go up in dollar value, but a lot of them get slammed down relative to the BTC. And we'll look at some of those trades, and we'll look at some that have come down enough to where I think might actually be good spots to start looking at buying. We got a few patterns setting up on about actually like 5 or 6 altcoins. And if I have the time, I may try and get to all of them in this video. Let me just look at Bitcoin real quick and see these lines on here. We talked about this in another video if you follow along, but these were my targets, right? So this was my very like bottom target, and you see it kind of stalled out here for one day, but it's making another move up. So it's undoubtedly going to somewhere in here, 36 to 3,700. These are just my short term, like for the month of August, basically. Just getting into here, and then I'd like to see it turn down, and maybe we can buy up some more at 3,000, maybe 2,800, wherever it's kind of got a floor here now. So and then we can get more and ride it back up for the next wave. That's the whole goal, right? Is to increase our Bitcoin holdings. Now you can, if you're not a trader and you're not comfortable trading, man, just buying Bitcoin and holding. People have made people have been made millionaires just by doing that. So, but what my goal as a trader and with this channel is to see if we can beat the market, right? Which the market being Bitcoin in crypto land. If we can beat it and outpace it, and instead of getting 5% a month, we can get 20% a month, and we can find some coins that are going to outpace Bitcoin, so we can get more Bitcoin, right? So as the value of Bitcoin goes up, we're getting more and more. It's just a win-win, right? So anyways, real quick, how do you find price targets when a price has never been there before? It's all-time highs. I love using Fibonacci extensions, right? So you just got to find a good leg. There was a couple legs I was going off of. And they're almost the same, right? So I got this leg here, and I got this leg here. And I'll show in another video maybe how to pick the best leg, but that's just what I picked right here. Okay, and you can kind of see that's how I got the furthest out target at 37. 30 around there. I kind of front run them all a little bit, and that's kind of my high target. If it hits that, I may be looking for a pullback, down. Even a fall of $1,000 maybe is even possible once it hits 37, and everybody will say, I told you Bitcoin sucked, I told you it was a Ponzi. So they'll probably keep saying it all the way up to 10,000, and maybe after 10,000 some of them might get silenced a little bit, but we'll see. Listen, having been in the Forex land and been in futures trading and everything, I see the value here, and why not earn and trade in Bitcoin that's growing in value? People are beginning to see the value of it. So one of the things I want to do, let's take this other extension right here, which is where I got these other targets from. This was my first target. If you remember in the other video, this was my safe target, right? So, and you see it stalled out here, but it couldn't hold it, and it's going up, right? And so my next target is this 30, right around $3,600. This 36 to 37.20 is going to be critical. I'm going to be looking for that for a good little turnaround there. So anyways, keep your eyes on that, guys. I just wanted to kind of show you how I get, and I can do more in depth in another video, but find a leg and pull down from the top to the bottom a Fibonacci extension, and you can get some good results, at least some targets, because it's hard to find a top when there's never been that price before, right? So that's a good little easy way to find that. I also, in looking at this, let me pull this up real quick. I also have a little bit of a pattern showing up that I noticed the other day, and it's X to A to B. This is called a deep crab, and you want an 886. It's got a deep retracement on it, right? And then you're going up to a 1618 extension, which is, you know, right around here. And so this high target, I'm actually shooting for this. It could fail at 36, so I may take a little bit of my Bitcoin profits off there, but my big target is this right here for Bitcoin in the near term. For the year, I'm a big believer in $4,600 to $5,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. That's just my opinion, but hey, we'll see. Okay, let's move on to some altcoins. Tell you what, before we do that, let's look at Ripple. Okay, you see we had this trade. It's set up for us to go long here, and Bitcoin decided to take off, right? And so that's why I said, like, set your stop, you know, around here, and around here. Actually, I don't think I got taken out on this dip. It was close, and then it kind of comes back up, but then it comes down. So even if you did get out here, that's good, because it's still falling, and you can look at the overall trend. But what was funny was, and this is why trading in cryptocurrencies, I got, it was where I got in at, and I bought Ripple on Bitfinex. I was trading against Bitcoin, but you have to buy the actual, you know, cryptocurrency. Well, I flip over to, let me see if, let me look here. Ripple against the dollar, and it's gone up, right? So my overall balance on my account was going up relative in US dollars, but my trade was wrong. And that kind of threw me for a loop, but it's just how it is. Like this was increasing in dollar. It just shows you the dollar is falling against all these other things. And even though the trade was wrong, I still somehow made money, which is kind of confusing, right? But overall, that trade is wrong. That's not what I would like to see. I would like to see it form this bottom here and go up. Now, it might be that the bottom has formed on Ripple relative to dollars, right? And it's just going to keep tracking up, and that's great. That's awesome. At least I would at least be looking for like a probably a 23-cent target, 22 cents, somewhere in there. That's awesome. But relative to Bitcoin, which is what I was trading, it is going down because Bitcoin is becoming dominant again. Okay. Hope that makes sense. I know it's a little confusing. If you're used to trading in dollars, it is very confusing. It just takes your mind kind of getting retweaked to thinking in Bitcoin and not just dollars. Okay, let's look at OMG, I think. All right, guys, this is OMG with Bitcoin. Listen, this is a ways off, right? This is a 4-hour, and you know, I had somebody comment saying, you know, because we had a price prediction on Ethereum, and I shouldn't say prediction. I shouldn't say it's going to this spot. All I'm saying, and this is the wonderful thing about harmonic trading and trading with patterns, is you're not trying to predict where it's going to go. You're just finding patterns that say, if it comes here, then I'm going to make a decision to do something. So all this is saying is, if OMG will come down to this price, I will be taking it long because I think it's going to go up in value relative to Bitcoin. Right now, it may go down. It may track down. Or it could shoot way up. I don't know, right? So there's no way for me to know that with 100% certainty, and I don't think anyone can say that they know that with 100% certainty. But I'm saying this is my pattern here, and if it comes down here, I'm taking it long. That's a great spot. You can see this area of what was resistance and has now kind of become support. We'll find out, right? So that's a good spot to get some cheap OMG. Okay, let's look at PIVX. PIVX is the same thing. I have a butterfly pattern showing up on here. Now this is going to be, I almost could look at this on the daily, to be quite honest. This is going to be I could honestly say probably week to maybe 2 weeks off if it does come down here, but you can see the trend kind of coming down. It's falling down, but it's still got to break this X point, right? Which it may find support there and bounce back up. But what I'm saying with this butterfly pattern is if it will come down to my D point here, I will be buying it up, right? Because this was a low point for it relative to Bitcoin, and I will be buying it up and be looking for a move up. And yeah, and if you follow along, you know, the butterfly patterns, how I got in, you know, Bitcoin at 1860 a couple weeks ago, it hit a sweet butterfly pattern and came down, and it just nailed it on that one. It's funny to think about 1860 Bitcoin, and it's just been a couple weeks. It's the craziness of cryptocurrencies. But anyways, I'm looking at PIVX over the next week. I'm just giving you guys what I'm looking at. If you want to follow along, awesome, and place some targets on there, and I'll, as it gets closer, I'll actually put a limit order on as I'm trading. Okay, next up is Augur, I think. Alright, Augur has hit my pattern here, and this is another butterfly pattern, right? So you got a leg up. Now this is not the prettiest pattern. I don't love it. It has this huge downtrend, but that's the whole thing with these patterns, is you're trying to catch bottoms with some of these and putting small stops. The only problem with this pattern is, well, one thing that I love is it's coming up into this area right here, but one thing I don't love is my stop is just, I'd have to have a really big stop, like right here, all the way down here, which is okay if I like Augur long term. It can bounce around here, you know, for weeks. That's fine, and then make a move up. But if I can find a better pattern, I will. But just from looking at this right now, Augur is a buy for me, at least, you know, coming up into, you know, we'll see how far it goes, but I like to take them up to the B point, which would be, you know, right around here. Okay, and you can see it likes to attract up into this area, so I don't think that's far-fetched to say that. Now, this is a big pattern, right? This is almost should be looked at on the daily, but I'm probably going to go ahead and go long Augur here in a little bit, and if it comes down even more and bounces around in here, that's fine, because I'm going to set my stop like way down here, but I'm hoping for, even if I set it down here, right, and I'm going for the B point, I still have more gains than I have on losses, right? More reward than risk, which is what you always want to do. Or maybe, you know, if it has a strong move up, maybe I want to hold Augur up to the top again. So that's what I'm looking at with Augur. Let's see, Siacoin. Alright, Siacoin, I think this is Siacoin, right? SC. Siacoin is kind of in a funky place for me right now because it's at this bottom, right? And you see this, it made a higher low here, and it's possibly putting a higher low in here. But I just don't have, here's the pattern I'm looking at, right? Let me start right here. X to A to B, right there. So it hit this, it's come up, and I didn't see this when it hit it, I just saw it recently, and it's gone back down, which is not usually a good sign, but we do have this support here, and it may be worth, you know, if you just are setting stops at, like, you know, right below this area here at, you know, say 266 Satoshis or something like that, and you're looking for Siacoin to run up to, I would probably say to this point right here is an awesome target. Let me pull down the Fibonacci just to make sure here. Yeah, that's before the, you know, and I could even move this up a little bit. Front run the 618. That's an awesome target right there. I really like that one. So I'm keeping an eye on this to see, because I don't like that it failed at the 886 and it's kind of come back down, but I also like all this support it has right here. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and go long Sia coin. It's risky right now just because, and the only reason I'm hesitant with this stuff right now is because Bitcoin is just being so strong, moving up, and it's just smashing on everything else. But to me, and you have to make this decision for yourself, it's worth the risk, right? Here's my loss. If I lose a little Bitcoin on this trade, I'm all right with it. That's cool, because I'm trying to outpace the rate of Bitcoin right now, right? And so here's my reward. If I'm in at this green line right here, there's my reward, there's my risk, right? So that looks good. Okay, I got one more coin that I'm gonna look at too that I think is really bottomed out. This is Zen coin, and I've got this bat pattern that's showing up on here, and it's coming down into this 886. Let me put a little line right there. So it's making a strong move over the last few hours actually, but it's still not, if you look at this as a trend line right here coming down, it still hasn't really busted out of that. If it breaks out of that, then it's over. I'm not looking at it anymore. But if it has a pullback again, if it gets kicked back down and kind of follows this line down to D, that would be probably within the next 2 or 3 days, next couple days. If it hits this, I'm definitely going to take it long. This is the bottom right here, and I believe this is the all-time low at this X. I could be wrong. I need to go further back, but I believe this is the all-time low. And so I'll set my stop a little below that, and then I'll set a target up here. Or if I want to take some off at B, and on some of these guys, you can just hold the coin. I mean, if you're a long-term believer in cryptocurrencies, we're trying to pick bottoms here. These may be the bottoms like forever. The market is only growing. Yes, some of these coins are going to die off, but you just don't know which ones, right? And so, but if you want to do what I'm doing, which is trading, flipping back and forth, I'll be probably setting a stop around here and take some off at B, and then maybe hope it runs, up to some highs there. So, all right, guys, I hope that helps. Follow along. I know this is a longer video, but I had a lot of patterns, and I'm probably not going to be able to do anything the rest of this week, maybe till Friday. So, thanks for following along, guys. I hope you like what you're seeing here. I love trading these patterns. It just makes it simple. Look up, guys. There's some great material online. You don't need me to show all the patterns and everything, although I will at some point, but there's some great material out there already that shows harmonic patterns and shows the value of them. And I really love trading them. It just makes it so much simpler. All right, guys. Well, take care, and I'll see you maybe at the end of the week.